Today's lesson is about artist Piet Mondrian, and you might have seen some of his work before. Here's a few of his examples, and this is actually a picture of him right here. And he lived in the late 1800s and early 1900s making these abstract works of art. And that's what we're going to do today. And one thing that makes him special is that he actually started out to be an art teacher. He went to college. His father was an artist, his uncle was an artist, and he started by painting landscapes, pictures of land all around us. And he changed and went into just using these geometric grids and the primary colors. So that's what makes him a master of this type of art. So what you're going to need for today is a piece of paper, a ruler, if you have one. If not, you can do this with a whole bunch of square things. I have found a sticky note, a piece of paper, or rectangles, I should say, a Lego, a little lunchbox note card. If you have electrical tape, you can use that as well. If not, you can use black construction paper. Make sure you ask first. I asked Mr. Costa's permission if I could use some of his electrical tape for our art lesson today. You'll need scissors to cut it with, and then the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and then black. You can use crayons, you can use paint, you can use markers. I'm using these because they're nice and big, and they cover a lot of area at once. And you're also going to need something to write with. So I'm grabbing a pencil. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I'll check as I'm recording, and if not, I will go over it in Sharpie. But what you're going to do, you're going to start by lining up your rectangles in the corners. And you're going to trace them. Let me see. Yep, that's showing up okay. And then you can just change the way things are going on your paper. So that one I put down sideways, this one I'm going to put vertically. And you don't want to get anything too small. But you do want to remember, I folded my paper, you do want to remember to always make sure everything is square. And what I mean by square is that it's lined up parallel. Okay, and I might even use my ruler to bring this line down. Extend this one out, and you're just putting lines all over the paper, squares and rectangles, and you can even do triangles if you want. Let's see. And this one is great for talking about shapes with younger learners, the difference between a square and a rectangle. Let's see, I got, I think enough. I'll extend this and that looks good. Now the next thing you're gonna do, I'm gonna make this across, is to pick your colors. One thing that this artist was famous for was for only using the primary colors. So he used red and yellow and blue. He wanted to make his art simple. Simple shapes, simple colors. Okay, so I'm gonna pick a couple areas to do red. Might do this one blue. And you don't have to be super precise with your lines because we're going to add the tape over in a few minutes. All right. Maybe do this one yellow. He also added black in. And again, I'm using these big markers just to save time for coloring, because you all know how to color. You don't need to watch me color. This one smells good. This is a banana. Can you smell it? Probably not, huh? That'd be pretty neat though. That'd be like something from Willy Wonka. Smell-o-vision. Carly's over here making a gingerbread house today. Next, I'm going to do Georgia O'Keeffe's flowers. And that one's pretty fun as well. Okay, let me get maybe a black one down. Black licorice. How many of you like black licorice? That's what this one smells like. I know most of you in class would always say, ew, that one stinks. Black jelly beans are my favorite jelly beans. So I always like this one. And last one. And I'm not coloring them all in because he didn't color all his all in. He left it blank in a lot of areas. I've been using my black markers a lot since we've been at home. Color, color, color. Okay. Now comes the time for the tape. And again, if you don't have this, you can take white paper, color it black, and cut strips to glue down. You can take black construction paper if you have black construction paper. I'm just using the electrical tape because that's another way to do it. Okay, so this stuff's fun to use. I'm just gonna line it up and I'm gonna leave it attached to my backboard for now. And you'll see why in a minute. Again, make sure you ask before you use any of these materials if they're not yours, if they're mom's or dad's. Okay, so I'm just putting it down and cutting as I go. And you're gonna do each and every line. That's why it's not super duper important when you're coloring that you stay in the lines. It's good practice, but not altogether necessary. Sometimes it's fun just to get the color down. There's that. There's that. And last one. Now, I'm going to lift these all up and you can just bend them back. And you have an abstract work of art inspired by artist Piet Mondrian. And there you go. All done. Have fun.